Hello everyone, it's Sharon here, Sharon Henkins from the blog I Restore Stuff, ready to show you another Essential Stencil DIY project today. So are you ready? Let me know. If you are watching the replay, let us know that. Type the word replay into the comment section and you could have a chance to win some prizes after the live has finished. So there's that to look forward to. And if you are here live, let me know where you're watching from. Hi Anna, how are you? I'm just going to see if I can see the comments over here on my laptop computer. So I've got that here. If you have noticed, hi Cindy, how are you? Carolyn, if you've noticed the description in the live here, if ever you see ambassadors doing a live, we always have a description there that you can actually click on and look at the links for the different things that we're working on today. And if you can see that, we are doing some Easter projects today. So a couple of Easter signs and an Easter basket. I just found this little basket at a thrift store and it had a cloth liner in the basket. And I just took that out because I didn't like the style of the cloth liner. So I took that out and it probably could, it's perfect size for napkins or something like that. But I thought it'd make a cute Easter basket. And it's white. So we're going to paint some stencils on that. So we'll give you some tips in actually stenciling with stenciling on cane, because you know you have to kind of poke in there to the cane baskets. I also found this fun kind of it's just an MDF Kaiser craft. It's for scrapbooking, I think. It's got these little holes in it, this little cute arrow sign. So I'm going to do something with that. And the other thing I'm going to be using today is, I don't know how many of you have done these acrylic resin pours, like pouring resin, paint pouring. Have you ever done that? Well, I made this one quite some time ago, and it's the tiniest little canvas frame that I did mine on. But let me know in the comments if you've ever done an acrylic pour. If you haven't, I do have a Facebook Live over on my I Restore Stuff page. If you go to my page there and type in the top pouring resin, then you'll be able to see how I created that. But that's been a bit of a thing for the last year or so. People doing these where you mix the resin in with some different colored paints, layer it, and then just tip it upside down, pour it all over the canvas, and just kind of do this drizzly thing. Hi Rhonda, how are you? Hi Sean, hi Joyceanne. So fun to see you all there. Let me see if I can see that up here on my laptop. Get that going so I can try and find my comments. Yes, okay, I can see more comments here than I can on my phone, so that's a lot better sometimes. Elizabeth says, hi Sharon and all. Yes, hello. Donna's done some paint pours on glass vases. That sounds fun. Haven't done one on canvases yet. That's cool. Awesome. So this is one that I did on a little tiny canvas a long time ago. So I'm not going to show you the method of how I did that today because that's quite a process, but just let me know if you want that link to my live, or just go to my I Restore Stuff page and you'll be able to see how to do that on a Facebook Live that I did over there probably over a year ago. So I am going to be now putting a stencil over the top of this. So maybe some of you who have done these acrylic pours have these canvases lying around because you just got so excited about the process and you're wondering, what else can I do with my canvas? Of course they look beautiful just like this, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun to add a little Easter sign on here? So we're going to do that today. Here are the two packs that I'll be using today. Belinda says she's never done a pour. Hi Carol from Southwest Michigan. I hope it's not too cold up there for you guys. Snowing probably, no doubt. Bronwyn's from sunny and warm California. Well, here I am in sunny, warm Queensland. It's summer here. February, it seems to me it's sometimes the hottest time of the year. The two stencil sets that I'll be featuring today on today's live tonight one is the 6-pack Some Bunny Loves You. They're cute little Easter sets. So there's a 6-pack, and here's what's inside that one. We'll go through them all so you can see. Hippity hoppity, very cute. I'll bring them out from behind the thing. A gorgeous little rabbit with a butterfly on its nose. We've got Every Bunny Welcome. I like the puns that Essential Stencil has on their stencils, don't you? They're so cute. There's 3 bunnies with little cottontails. want to use that one today. Bunny trail. How cool would that be for like an Easter egg hunt or something like that? So I'm going to keep this one aside because I'm going to use this on my little arrow that I found and see if we can use that for that one. And then the last one is Some Bunny Loves You. So those are the ones from that set, and that is called, once again, it's all these are linked right there in the description of our live, and Essential Stencil will also pin the comment there. Some Bunny Loves You 6x6 stencils. These are the mini packs. And the other one that I want to use is Easter Blessings. Now this is a 3-pack Easter Blessings stencil set, and they're all 6x6. And we've got the Easter Blessings there. There's always a little instruction booklet if you don't know how to stencil, but lots of fun watching our lives here. There's that one, Worthy is the Lamb. And we have a cross representing Jesus' crucifixion, which is what we are celebrating, his resurrection on Easter. So those are from the Easter Blessings 3-pack set. So those are links are in the description of our live here. And don't forget to use my code IRestoreStuff and get 10% off anything in the store. In fact, who has already taken advantage of the massive winter clearance sale that Essential Stencil is having right now? Did you know that if you use our code, so use my code IRestoreStuff on the winter sale, which I also have that link up here in the description of our live, that you can get a further 10% off. And some of those winter sale items are discounted up to 40%. So if you did miss out on certain stencils, you know, through winter and Christmas time, you might want to just go and check out what some of those are on sale right now. Add my code IRestoreStuff at the checkout, and you'll get an extra 10% off all of those. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for watching. Hi, Trevor's here. And Whimsically Nodded. I love seeing all your comments, so keep them coming and join in the conversation, because we do give away prizes at the end of our stencil lives, and we'll be doing that today. First of all, let's use, I'll start with this Acrylic Pour resin. So I've got 3 little projects on the go today. This is the first one, and it's just a Acrylic pouring resin. If you look that up, you'll be able to see lots of different examples of this. And so I had made a few of these in my time of just creating, and I thought, what else can I use that for? Stencil it with something. So I'm going to put something that fits on here beautifully. Let's see, where is it? I like this Worthy is the Lamb. I didn't want to add too many flourishes because it's got the color and the variations there a little bit. So I'm going to use Worthy is the Lamb. So to do that, these are fairly light and pastel colors. So I want to choose a dark color to go over here. You could use white, and that could possibly pop out a bit too. Or you can use some shadowing underneath. You could do a little bit of that. In fact, I might just add a bit of white shadowing, and that might help for the whole thing to pop out from the, it's like a 3D looking thing. A lot of you know that I love my shadowing technique, so I'll point that down here. We'll move some things aside. We're going to be using our Essential Stencil brushes here. Some Victorian Lace Fusion Mineral Paint. You can get the link to that in my Amazon store if you don't have a Fusion stockist near you. Welcome to use that link. And I can give you that. I didn't put it in the description of the live, but let me know if you need that. Okay, Worthy is the Lamb. It's going to look great against this background. Do a quick little shadow. While that's drying, I might start something on the basket or go on with our rabbit trail bunny here. So, let's see, for a white, I'm going to just dip a little bit in the lid. We've got a bit too much on our brush, so that's why I have my handy dandy offloading cardboard background here. Now, if you wanted to keep it really still, you could use some painter's tape to tape down either edge. And I'm going to just start with, I've offloaded that. Just going to start with a bit of swirling around, and you'll be able to see the white, but it won't stand out too much because we've got quite a light background that I'm doing it on. So if you've just joined me, I am doing some stenciling over a canvas that I did a background on with Acrylic Pour or paint pours, pouring resin. There's so many different terms that I've seen for it. And so I'm so glad to see you all here today. Essential Stencil has popped the link for the stencils I'm using today in the pinned comment there. So if you did want to go and grab that. Yeah, everybody's commenting. Some people were commenting on the sale. You've got your winter sale bargains from Essential Stencil. Really, you've got, I think, about 3 days left on the winter sale. Huge discounts, up to 40%. It's massive. Then if you use my code IRestoreStuff at the checkout, you get a further 10% off whatever you've purchased there. So if you're wanting to purchase any of the stencils I'm using today, you can get 10% off these as well. These aren't in the sale. These are brand new in the spring collection, but there are some really great bargains with the winter collection. So what I've done there, and you can hardly see that, like I said, because we're doing white on a very light background, but I'm using this white as a bit of a shadow for my darker color that I'll be doing in just a minute. In order to use this stencil again, so what I'm going to do is just pop this brush in a plastic bag in case I want to use the white again, so that doesn't dry out. Hi Annetta from Missouri. Fran's here. Oh, hi Fran. Still need to get your order in before you miss it. Yeah, don't miss that sale. It's really good value. I'm going to wipe off this because when we want to use the dark color, we don't want the dark paint mixing with that white that I've just smudged all over the outside of the stencil. So if you do clean your stencils immediately, the paint should just come right off with a wet cloth. I haven't got any product on the cloth. That's probably the best and easiest and most eco-friendly way of doing it. And always turn it over and wipe the back off too, because the paint and the water kind of dribbles onto the back there. So I'll let that dry, as well as I'll let this dry, and we'll come back to this one in just a minute. I'll pop that down there. And we'll go on to another project while we wait for that to dry. So don't go anywhere, because I'm going to show you how that white stencil there, which you can hardly see, will turn into a shadow for a darker color that we'll pop on top. Okay, so I found this. I don't know if you have Kaiser Craft. This is an Australian, I'm in Australia, so I don't know what products you might have there that we don't have here. Oh, thank you guys so much for sharing our live too. I forgot to mention that. Please, I'd love you to hit that little share button. Sprinkle the love around the internet world, around Facebook land, and we love it when you do that. So our bunny trail sign, our stencil bunny trail, it's facing this way, so let's face it the same way as the bunny trail stencil. Okay, now it has these 3 holes in it because this is Kaiser Craft stores here are a scrapbooking store, and so this came with a few different arrows that you would probably make into some kind of scrapbooking album, but I'm just going to cover those up right there with, I don't know, a piece of ribbon or something. I might just add that at the end. So here's our bunny trail sign. Now obviously it's not going to fit our rabbit on if we put it there, but here's where I like to mix and match. So what we're going to do, we could put the bunny over here and our sign over here. So we'll start with our arrow, and thinking if I do have a ribbon at the end, I've got to just sort of lay things out, make sure that they're actually going to fit. So if I did do this, I could add that there and it would still have room. And let me see if I put my finger where I think the arrow will end, just making sure that my rabbit will definitely fit at the end there. So that's how I measure things out, just by giving it a good old go, seeing if it'll fit. I have plenty of space to move it across a little bit more. Then I want to tape off these ears here, because if I don't tape them, surely I will run into the ears and it will look a bit silly having 2 ears sticking up. So we tape off those areas that we're not going to use right now. That actually will help hold the stencil in place as I do the stencil. And let's use, I'm going to use a kind of a charcoal colour. Now this is a chalk paint here in Australia, but you can get any kind of chalk paint. They're all over the USA, I know for sure. And I do have some someone again is saying my volume's low tonight. Now that happened the other week and I did test it and it was all just fine. So maybe just double check your volume on your device, as well as there's a little volume on the actual live on the video when you're playing it. There's a little volume button there also. Sometimes that is low. Okay, it's a charcoal grey colour. So again, I dip my paint I've shaken the bottle, so there's a lot in the lid, so I just dip it in the lid. And I offload as much as I can. And then, now you know what, this is a little bit too close for comfort over this side too, and I know that my brush, because I'm using a larger size brush, could leak over the edge. Don't want that either. So we're just going to pop that down here. Let's do it on the arrow side as well. I think I'm alright for where the words are, but just so that we don't get our brush going over the edge of the stencil. Alright, so now that I've got that on my brush, just doing a little swirly method to get that all in there. And if you start to run out, then we can just dip more paint on the brush, but always, no matter if you're going to dip a little bit more on, always offload it first, because you want to remove all the excess so we don't get paint bleeding under the stencil. Now, I know that we will have a lot of brand new members for our Essentials Stencil of the Month Club watching here. So a lot of you have joined over the past month or so. So welcome to all the new Essential Stencil of the Month Club members also. You can get 50% off your first month in the Stencil of the Month Club by using my code IRestoreStuff, and Essential Stencil will send you a different set of stencils, a complete set of really big stencils every month. Different themed, depending on the month, depending on the holidays, depending on all sorts of things. Some great ideas there. Some ideas are even designed by Essentials ambassadors, and so I know Grace has her design coming up soon, and she'll be demoing that. So that's exciting. Okay, so you can pounce your brush or swirl it, but just the very biggest tip I can give you is to offload as much as you can on cardboard or paper or a paper plate or something like that. So, all right, just lifting that up now. Oop, stuck down a little bit too hard. Okay, there's our bunny trail. Nice and crisp letters. So see how there's no fuzzy edges because we offloaded as much as we could on the cardboard here. Now time for our little grey rabbit. You could make it a different colour if you wanted to. Let's go for a different colour rabbit, shall we? And where's my brush plastic bag here? I'll put this in the other end in case we want to use that grey again. Might use it for something else. So Melissa's just asked, how did you do the grungy background? I think you're talking about possibly this. I'm not sure. If you're talking about my cardboard, my background is just my paint swirls. Isn't that funny? But this is an acrylic rabbit here. I need to take the tape off his ears, and then we want to use that tape to cover up the arrow above the ears, because we just put it in that place because we don't want to get it on there. It's like I flicked a little bit of grey paint. So here is our rabbit. This is the cutest ever. Now this is from the set that's a 6-pack set called Some Bunny Loves You. If you're just looking for this one, the links are right there in the comments and in the description of our live. So here is our rabbit. Let's use a cute peony colour. Now if it turns out that it's too light against the white, I may decide to use that as a shadow and then go over it with the grey. So we'll just have a go at doing it this way. We've got a lot on the brush there, so I'm even going to wipe some of that off back into the pot. Now, offloading. This is an art piece in itself, my cardboard that's in the background here. Oh, it's still got way too much on. I'll go back onto that and collect some more paint of it. White backgrounds are so scary sometimes. Who was that? I can't read it. My comments are flying up too fast. Yeah, it looks like that the contrast on this background is not going to be enough. And so I may have to do my grey charcoal. We could even do the grey charcoal as a background shadow. So if I lift this up now, you can hardly see that pink at all. So that's not a great idea. Here's what not to do. I'm going to go ahead now and just use my grey brush and paint right over the rabbit. And I'm not going to worry too much if that pink is still wet. Just dipping a little bit in there. Look, we've still got a bit of paint left from before. So going right back over it, I could possibly just shift it slightly and see if it makes a shadow. Ooh, have to be careful sometimes. Okay, so just going to lift it slightly and shift it slightly, and that will, maybe we'll see a little pink line around as a shadow. But this is chalk paint that I'm using, and it's a charcoal paint. Oh, we have a fly has entered the building. I dislike flies. It's summer and hot here, and sometimes they find their sneaky way in if we leave the door open for even just a split second. Hi, Lois is watching from Vermont. Should you put your brushes in a bag instead of leaving them out in the air? Yes, if I'm going to use the brush again, you know, I might use this same colour for the basket that I'll be doing, the Easter basket that I'll be doing in just a minute. And so I'm going to put that into a plastic bag to stop the air drying out the paint. Now I'm getting very close to this edge here, so I'm going to use this and just tape that down. Sometimes the paint just flicks a little bit that way. Okay, here's our fluffy little grey rabbit. It's a dark grey rabbit. So you could have a black background or a dark charcoal background and then do your rabbit white if you wanted to. So many different options. Okay. There we go. And no, you can't see that pink. You can't really see the pink shadow at all. But isn't that cute? It looks like bunny trail, and it looks like the arrow is pointing to the bunny tail. I didn't even mean for that to happen. Bunny tail, bunny trail. Well, there you go. So now all I would do to cover up these holes is perhaps cut a little bit of ribbon around about that size. Or you could even use, oops, sorry. Oh, didn't pick the sharpest scissors in my batch. So you could glue this down with a little bit of a hot glue gun, or you could even put a little stick in behind that or in front of that, nail your stick there and then stick it in the ground for bunny trail to be that way. Or you could put a stick here, staple it to a stake in the ground. You could do that. There you go. So that's the bunny trail sign. I might get my hot glue gun out in a minute if I can to do that. Now I wanted to go on to this one that I did earlier, and let's see if we can just use that same charcoal colour to make that shadow on the white. Okay, so remember we had our Worthy is the Lamb. I had this acrylic pour, and I've put this on a stencil in white. You can hardly see it, but it just may help with the shadowing. So I've put it, to do a shadow, we just put it exactly where it was on the stencil, and I'll shift it in just a minute. Get my brush ready. Stand up to do this. And then I'm going to shift it slightly up and slightly across. Now I could tape it down. Good idea, Sharon. And that would help it to stay in the right spot. Just to make sure we don't also go over the edges. So now we go over with our swirly method because I've offloaded my brush as much as I could of the paint. So if you want to use any of the stencils we're using today, use my code IRestoreStuff at essentialstencil.com, or any of the links that we've got there in the live description or in the comment that Essential Stencil has pinned there. You can use my code and you'll get 10% off anything in store. That includes the huge winter sale that Essential Stencil has got going on right now. Some items, some stencils are up to 40% off right now. So then you can use my code on top of that and get another 10% off right there at the checkout. So take advantage of that for the next 3 days. The winter sale has got left on it, I believe. A little bit more of the charcoal grey colour. So I do go ahead and answer some of your questions. So someone I think just asked about the acrylic pour and how I did that. So on my I Restore Stuff page on Facebook, in my video section, if you do a search for pouring resin, I show you how exactly I do the pouring with I used Fusion Mineral Paints pouring resin, but I do have some other, there's lots of different acrylic pour materials out there now. And I've got a link to some in my Amazon shop as well. So, here we go. Now I can see the shadow, maybe you can't, but I'll just pop it up a little bit closer to see how cool that looks for a background on the stencils. Isn't that sweet? And you could probably opt for another, I'd say a brighter, darker color to go over some of those flowers. You could do that by hand, but the acrylic pour makes a great background. If you've got some canvases and you were totally into the acrylic pour craze, or if you haven't started the craze yet, it is a lot of fun to do those pouring resin things. But I love how that stands out. So we've got that and our bunny trail. The last thing I wanted to work on was our basket. So I found this basket at a thrift store, or an op shop as we call them here in Australia. And let's see, what colours have I got in here? Pink and white. I think we'll need the charcoaly dark colour. But I was going to use some of these. So that Easter Worthy is the Lamb was from the Easter Blessings 3-pack that you can get. The link for that is in the description of the live. And so here, I wanted to use some of these from the Somebody Loves You pack. And I wanted to try and get some of these. Now, I wanted to also pop a ribbon around the top, you know, make it a cute Easter basket style of thing. Isn't that cute? The little polka dots. I love it. So what I want to try and do is try and make my signs go as close as they can down to the bottom so that they don't interfere with popping the ribbon on the top there. So to do that, I think I might try and actually change these words around. I'll put loves you down the bottom, but I'm going to put some bunny across like that. So let me just see if we can, I might have to pop up slightly so you can see. Might have. And so when you're painting on or stenciling on cane or wicker on a basket like this, it can get a bit tricky. We do a little bit more of a pouncy method. So this word bunny, I need to shift. So let me just grab another piece of tape. So I'm going to tape over that just so that I don't get my brush on that. Okay, so using our charcoal chalk paint again. Oh, Patty says it's freezing briefly. Yeah, I did notice it said something about the poor connection a minute ago. It'll always jump back on, so you're not missing much. But thank you guys so much for sharing and spreading the love of our live. Now, this is a huge experiment because we've got gaps and things in our cane. I'm not sure exactly how well this is going to turn out with words because the words are quite thin. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to read them. So this is I love to come on here and experiment with you, or for you actually. I show you what you can try and what not to try because Sharon's already tried it, so don't try that at home. So I can see already that I'm trying really hard to get down into some of those grooves, but I'm not sure if our words are going to be legible. Maybe I need a little bit more on my paint, on my brush. And I'm pouncing as much as I can. See, we're doing it on cane and wicker. I've done this with larger stencils, so maybe if it was a single huge number or a single huge letter, it would be a little bit more legible to see what the stencil actually says. All will be revealed, guys, in just a minute. I'll let you know whether this is a good idea or not. And that's why I have plans for the flip side of this, so that you can turn it around to the back and not have to worry about this side. So let's have a look. Let's see if it works. Oh, you can sort of see what it says, can't you? It's a little bit rough. Let me just paste that down again. See if we can just add a bit more paint in there. And really try and get those bristles right down inside the cane. Feels a bit tricky, but I don't want it to be too fuzzy on the edges, so I don't want that bleed through stuff to happen. Let's see. From a distance you can kind of see, but up close, oh, yeah, that's okay. We can tell what it says, can't we, guys? Of course we can. Okay, so bunny we are going to put over right over this side. And so where the Y is, I'm going to tape that down on these letters so that I don't get onto that. I'm going to pop that right over here as far as we can. Oh, I could even come down a bit further. Let's do that. Now, because this is a different font, you know, we just never know how this is going to work out. Here we go. I'm pouncing and smushing it into the letters and the edges. You see that? So as I bounce it on, I just wriggle it really quite forcefully down into those cane basket things. Now the little flick on the Y is going off the edge, so I can't really see that. Yeah, it does look rustic. Thanks for that. Rustic and distressed, Jennifer says. I like that. Oop. Almost got my brush over in the wrong spot. Let's have a look. Bunny. You can kind of see that says bunny. And then the sum. We also need to tape this off so that I don't get that on there. And I want to make that just about here. Okay, so holding on tight. Dipping my brush, pouncing and smushing. Fill it with Easter eggs. Wouldn't that be a fun idea? Stencil a basket, fill it with Easter eggs for your kids or your grandkids. Who else loves a good Easter egg hunt? This could be the basket they find at the end of the hunt or something like that. There we go. So we've got Some Bunny Loves You. And remember, at the end we'll have a ribbon around here to kind of create the Eastery look. So on the flip side, so then you could sort of turn it around, have it different angles. You could do any number of these stencils. I like this cute rabbit one. So on the reverse side, I'm going to go for down the bottom. Now, I think this one's ear will be covered up by that ribbon that I want to put on here, but that's okay. There we go. Oop, I'm gonna have to sit down. My back is getting sore from leaning over. I'll have to try and do this like this, looking in there so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, I dripped a little bit too much. We're just going to wipe that off on here, but because it's quite a large space, so these aren't tiny letters anymore, I can fill up. I don't have to offload my brush as much because I'm just going to pounce right on in where the spaces are. So when you're actually painting cane, I'm a furniture painter and that's what I do. If you go onto my blog, irestorestuff.com, You'll see lots of different furniture painting makeovers on there. If you're into that kind of thing, I teach you how to paint furniture. And when you paint cane itself, it is a good idea to actually get your brush and smush it in to the cane so that you can see. I've not painted the edges. I'm just going straight onto the center there to use up all that paint. But if I am painting cane furniture, I much prefer to spray it because the spray actually gets right in the edges. So. Yeah, the bunnies are adorable. Someone just said, good job, Essential Stencil. They do create lots of fun and lovable stencils, don't they? Okay, let's see how, hopefully that's good. We've still got enough on the brush to go around here on this side. And I'm kind of going from the edge in and from this edge in so that we don't try and get it, don't get it under the stencil edges too much because that would cause that bleed through. All right, did I get everywhere? I've got to kind of look at my work upside down. Let's see how that turned out. 3 cute little bunnies. Isn't that sweet? You could add some little tiny, what do you call them? Pom-pom tails onto the edge. I don't have any, but that would be a nice idea, wouldn't it? That would be so much fun. I was going to heat up my glue gun to try and do this glue gunning. I should have done that earlier. But how many of you have ordered the Easter sets, and have you done any painting on baskets? I'd love to know. So here's a fun idea. While that's heating up, I could add something cute up here because I feel like there's a little bit of a space up in this area. Where is that bunny head? I could do the head of the bunny. Is there other bunnies over here? Hippity hoppity. We've got that cute large bunny. Look at this. Not quite. I think it's too large, but let's have a look and see if one of these little rabbits, I could just tape off part of it and add some bunny ears up here. So we could pretend, whoops, it's going to go up onto the ribbon, isn't it? Probably not the greatest idea, but we're just going to go for it. The kids won't care. All right, so I am offloading my brush. Just going to try a little experimenting here, and we're just painting some bunny ears on the top, which is possibly where my ribbon might go, but I could always change the ribbon idea and put the ribbon on the inside. Heating up my glue gun, but I'm not sure how long that's going to take. Okay, so smushing that in there. Don't forget to join in the conversation at the end here. We're going to pick up some prizes at the end of our live. And also, just a reminder, for those of you who've just joined me, I was reminding everyone about the huge winter sale that Essential Stencil is having right now. And a lot of their winter stencils are up to 40% off, which is pretty huge. Then you can add my code, I Restore Stuff, and get a further 10% off. Look at that, isn't that cute? You've got some bunny ears clicking up there. And then, so on the other side, we did the 3 cute bunnies. I was saying you could pop some little cottontails on there. Let's see if this is ready to go. Maybe not quite. But let me know if you've got any questions. Let me just go to the comments and we'll see if we can answer any questions while that's going. Did I miss some? If you asked a question already, just ask it again real quick while I'm watching. Love the bunnies, like the bunny's ears peeking out. Yeah, so that was a fun idea. If you missed the beginning of our live, I did this Worthy is the Lamb. I added a shadow at the background, a white one. And hi Marge, just tuned in. That's okay, you can always watch the replay because I'll show you some of the things that I've just finished off, and then you can go skip to the bits that you want to do. Also, don't forget to comment the word replay when you do watch the replay, because then you've got another chance of winning prizes. So what I'm going to do is hot glue this to here, make a little bunny trail sign. So there's that one. That's very cute. I've pointed to the bunny tail without even realizing it. So here we go. You get the idea though. So if my glue gun doesn't work, look for the pictures on my page. I restore stuff afterwards. I'll post pictures of all the finished products today. Stay tuned. Essential Stencils about to pick some prizes, some prize winners. Yes, the cottontails would be adorable, wouldn't they? You are so welcome, Sandy. Thank you. And Eileen says, too cute. Now I want the bunny stencils. I know. So you can get these stencils 10% off using my code I restore stuff. So don't forget that. Those are the projects that I've worked on today. About to finish them off with a little bit of ribbon here for the Easter theme. And if you do want to see that Worthy is the Lamb, the background and how I did the acrylic pour, you can go onto my Facebook page, which is I Restore Stuff. The link is right there at the top of the page. And you can look up on there, use the little search bar in my video section and look up pouring resin. It'll show you all how to do that pouring method. And I have links for that in my Amazon shop of how to get your acrylic pour equipment. Congratulations, winners. I can see you. Jeannie, Rhonda, and Carol, you're our lucky winners today. So there are instructions there, who to email, where to claim your prizes, let them know where to send them. And here's what we worked on today. Some bunny loves you, a cute little Easter basket. We'll finish that off with some ribbon. Oops, there goes my glue gun now. It's making a mess. But I'll finish the live and then I'll glue gun these to this so you can have a better look at my pictures when I post them in the Stencil of the Month Club, like I usually do, or on my YouTube replays over there. You can find me at I Restore Stuff on any of the social media platforms. I have been your host and your ambassador here today with another live for Essential Stencils. Come back next week and we'll be here for another live. See you then. Bye.